ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So let's discuss something about Lord Jagannath. It's a very nice thing to note that these festivals of Lord Jagannath goes in sequence. The appearance day of Lord Jagannath is called as Snan Yatra. After Snan Yatra, there is something peculiar that happens. What is that? Jagannath gets sick. He gets fever. Okay, why he gets fever? A lot of bathing. Maybe with cold water. Jagannath follows the base standards. Okay. Cold water bath. So, but how can Parabrahma, because of cold water bath, get sick, get fever? And it's not that he's acting, he actually has fever. We need to understand this. Very, very important. But before we explain this topic, Gundica and Sri Mandir, these are the two temples in Jagannath Puri at a distance of 3 kilometers, 2 miles to be more precise. So Sri Mandir is considered as Dwarka and Gundica is considered as Vrindavan. So now the question comes that why Gundica is considered as Sri Vrindavan Dham? Anyone knows? It's just some sentiment of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Is it? So Gundica, that temple, the same place, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra and Sudarshan, they appeared there in that place. So you can say it's the appearance place or the birthplace of Lord Jagannath. Where did Krishna appear? Yes. Krishna appeared in Sridham, Vrindavan. Now someone might say that no, he appeared in Mathura. So our acharyas say Krishna appeared in Vrindavan. And yes, another Krishna appeared in Mathura. And how when Vasudev got this Vasudev Krishna from Mathura, then Vrindavan Krishna and Mathura Krishna, they both merged in one body, in one form. So Krishna appears in Sri Vrindavan Dham. There is no other place where he can appear. So he appears in Sri Vrindavan Dham. And he is very clear. I don't keep even one step outside Sri Vrindavan. So there's no question of he going out of Vrindavan. So the appearance place of Lord Krishna is Vrindavan. And appearance place of Jagannath is Vrindavan. Therefore Gundica temple is Vrindavan. Where is the Snan Yatra? Where does Snan Yatra take place? Sri Mandir. Where in Sri Mandir? Where is Snana Mandap? Is it on the ground floor or on the first floor? At the top, where? At the top. You have seen that Snana Vedi, it is on the top. Why Lord has given bath at the top? So that everyone can see. So anyone and everyone can look at the Lord. Yes. And so this is one of the external reasons that is there. But once in a year, Lord Jagannath, he goes to the top of the temple and he sees something from there. What is that? He sees something from there. 2 miles away, he sees Sri Vrindavan Dham. Always, all the time, Lord Sri Krishna in Dwarka, he's always hankering to see Sri Vrindavan. He's always hankering to associate with Rajvasis. He's feeling that separation. And then, when he's taken up on the temple, and from there he is able to see Gundica temple, that is Sri Vrindavan Dham. At that time, that separation, the mood of separation that Lord has, that intensifies. So Parabrahma, Sri Krishna or Jagannath, he does not get fever because of the cold water bath that is given from 100 pots, got from a well in the temple, but he gets fever, which is the sign of intense separation from Brajavasis. And when he gets fever, so at that time, Lakshmi Devi personally takes care of him. Rukmini or Lakshmi. They personally take care of Jagannath. I was hearing by one of the devotees, he was sharing that how Jagannath's cloth and Lakshmi's cloths are tied. Jagannath should not go anywhere. And Lakshmi is taking care of him without sleeping for 2 weeks. Now she is taking care of Jagannath. And after 2 weeks, since she has not slept for 2 weeks, very difficult to digest, but this is what is the pastime. She falls asleep. And that is the time Jagannath removes the knot and he leaves on the rath and he goes to Gundica temple. So Gundica is Sri Vrindavan, and there is a pastime in between. I think after 5 days or so, Lakshmi Devi comes to chastise. Ghar pe aao na to ghar pe nahi lungi. She goes to Gundica temple and she chastises. And then she comes back, and after another 4 or 5 days, Jagannath comes back. So the entire pastime that takes place, wonderful Leela that takes place. So Gundica is that dham, which is very, very dear to the hearts of all the devotees, and that is Sri Vrindavan Dham. And for Jagannath, this place is very, very dear. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was in Jagannath Puri at that time, for good 18 years, Lord was in Jagannath Puri. And every day, Lord would go to take darshan of Jagannath. But after Snan Yatra, those 2 weeks were very, very painful for Lord Chaitanya. At that time, he would go to Ala Allat. There he would go and take darshan of the four-handed form of the Lord. And then, when Rath Yatra is about to come, at that time, Lord Chaitanya would come back. And one day, Lord Chaitanya, he decided something and he wanted to get that accomplished. So at that time, he called Kashi Mishra, and then he called Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He called the superintendent of the temple, and then he kept his desire in front of them. He said that I want to clean the entire Gundica temple. Because Lord Jagannath is going to come there after Rath Yatra. I want to clean the entire Gundica temple. So at that time, the superintendent who was there, he started saying that, oh Master, oh Prabhu, we are your servants. Whatever you say, we have to follow. And the king of this place, Prataprudra Maharaj, he has told, whatever Lord Chaitanya says, follow that and do it. And there's a background to this. Prataprudra Maharaj is hankering to meet Lord Chaitanya. King. If a message is sent, everyone will come to meet the king. And king is sending a note saying, I want to meet Lord Chaitanya. And at that time, Lord Chaitanya says, I cannot meet a Vishayi. I cannot meet a materialist. Now, that was really heartbreaking. Really heartbreaking for him. But still, Prataprudra Maharaj didn't lose hope. Then one devotee after another devotee, they went to convince Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally said, see, if you ask me again, I leave this place. And all the devotees shut their mouth. No one repeated this again. But then there were personalities like Ramananda Rai and Nityananda Prabhu who kept trying every now and then. So at that time, Prataprudra Maharaj had told, whatever this person wants, yes, it has to be done. And here the superintendent of the temple, also called as Padicha, he was told, and he is telling the same to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever you tell, we will do. But he also made a statement, oh Lord, you're not supposed to clean the temple, that doesn't befit you. But we consider this as a Leela of yours. So yes, we will follow whatever you say. And then he said, you just order me. I'll get hundreds of brooms and hundreds of pots needed for cleaning. And without any delay, even without the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this person, he arranged hundreds of pots to fetch water and hundreds of brooms to clean the entire temple. Just one day before Rath Yatra, this pastime takes place called Gundica Marjan. where the entire temple of Gundica is cleansed very nicely. We were fortunate to get this opportunity maybe some 8-9 years back, where we had gone for Rath Yatra, and fortunately it was one day before Rath Yatra, so Gundica Marjana was happening. So we also went there, a good number of devotees. We also took a broomstick, we also took a pot of water, and then realized that more than cleaning, we're dirtying the place. Because the broom was not that great, so sticks of the broom will fall down. Some pots have fallen here and there in the temple. Then we realized that after we devotees do the ritual of cleaning the temple, the actual cleaning will happen after that. So in this way, one day before this event takes place, so one day before, Lord Chaitanya, early in the morning, he took all the devotees. First thing that he did was he applied chandan on all the devotees, getting them ready for seva. And then personally he handed over the broomstick to each and every devotee. Hundreds of devotees, hundreds of broomstick handed to each and every devotee. And Lord personally took all the devotees to Gundica temple. When I was reading this, so my manager mind started working. So one thing that we can see here is, especially for all the devotees who are seva in charge, for them it's very important. The first thing is we should honor the devotees who are getting the seva. Honor them first. Second one, empower them. Like Lord Chaitanya is empowering. And along with that, equip them with the resources that is needed. Then the service will happen nicely. Honor, empower, equip. Very, very important. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya did this. And then all the devotees, they entered the temple. The first thing, the first cleaning that starts is brooming the temple. So everyone has a broom and everyone started brooming the temple. And Lord Chaitanya personally, he started cleaning inside the Gundica temple. He took the broom, he's cleaning the floor, he's cleaning the ceiling, he's cleaning the walls, and at the same time, he's cleaning the simhasan of Jagannath. He took the simhasan aside, he cleaned it, he cleaned the place, got back the simhasan and kept it at the same place. And all the other devotees, they were also engaged in cleaning. All the temple's building were cleaned. And the space between the temple and the kirtan place, that place was cleaned. Like this, amazing cleaning was going on. There were hundreds of devotees. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to personally take the broom and clean? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was setting a personal example for everyone. See, I am doing. You all see, if you all want to do, you may, or you may, it's up to you. Now, Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all the Vaishnavas there, all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and the leader of Gaudiya Vaishnavas, that is Gauranga, is personally cleaning. Why will not the Vaishnavas follow? Hundreds of Vaishnavas were involved in cleaning. Hundreds of them. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the devotees, it's not that they're just cleaning and thinking, Abhi kabhi khatam hoga, when is prasad and this and that. They were cleaning. And while cleaning, all of them were ecstatic and loudly chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is such a wonderful thing that we see here. At least it happens with me, I don't know about you all. When we are continuously doing some service, and say it's a mechanical service. Now cleaning doesn't involve much of the consciousness that is there. Be it the floor cleaning, be it the pot washing or whatever. So the consciousness is not absorbed in that service. We will see the consciousness gets deviated here and there. We start thinking, planning and doing various other things. No doubt, when we are doing some seva, we will get benefit of that. But when we are doing that seva with absorption, the benefit is really very high. Really very great. The devotee is benefited to a very, very great extent. And here we have a live example. Lord himself and the devotees, they were cleaning, but they were continuously chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So whenever we have such service where we need not really involve our intelligence or mind or whatever, at that time, continuously Hare Krishna Mahamantra should be chanted. I really appreciate all those devotees while cleaning the vessel or cleaning the floor. I've seen people putting earpods or earphones and hearing kirtan, singing kirtan. One day when the kitchen cleaning was happening at night, 9:30, ecstatic kirtan was going on. To an extent where I was not able to sleep. Devotees are singing. I think this was Saturday evening. Devotees were singing, and I don't know what ecstasy was that. That's really nice. When we are involved in any service, absorption comes when we start singing the glories of the Lord. Therefore, we see devotees sometimes they play the lecture very loudly, or when they play the kirtan, or they sing kirtan, or if all that is disturbing, devotees just keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra softly so that they themselves can hear and get absorbed. Such a wonderful thing, and all devotees are doing this. Now, when all this cleaning was going on, then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami takes the camera, which was seeing everyone. Now the camera zooms only at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he says, Duli Dusaratanu Dekhite Shobhana Kaha Kaha Shru Jale Kare Samarjana. So the camera is directly at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and what is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami saying? He's seeing dhul. He's seeing dust and dirt on the body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he's saying, oh, dekhite. So he's saying that. And he's saying, Shobhana, oh Lord is looking so beautiful with the dust and dirt on the body. And then he says, when Lord was cleaning, at that time, wherever he was cleaning at those different places, since he was ecstatic that I'm cleaning my Lord's place, tears were flowing from his eyes and tears were dropping on the floor. And Lord was using those tears to clean the entire place. So intense. Lord Chaitanya, see, finally only Krishna can show what is meant by devotional service in great ecstasy. He knows very well people like us will not be able to reach that stage. So he's personally coming to show, yahan pahunchna hai. This is the place where we have to reach. And you're so absorbed. He's so absorbed thinking about his seva, thinking about his seva to Jagannath, that he's profusely shedding tears and cleaning the entire place with tears. So after cleaning the entire temple and other places, then devotees went to Bhoga Bhandar, the place where deity food is kept. Then they started cleaning that place, then the yard around that, and the various residential quarters which were around that place. So anything that was there in the campus, devotees wanted to make sure everything is spick and span. It's all clean. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after cleaning all that, he collected all that dust, straw, grains of sand, everything in his cloth. He got everything in his cloth and went out and threw that, from his cloth. Now all the devotees are observing. So all the devotees also. Yes. And they also went with their cloth and they threw outside. In this way, Lord, when he did that and the devotees did that, and Lord said something. He said, I can tell you how much you worked hard just by seeing how much dust, straw and grains of sand you have collected. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami with his camera is seeing that place. And then he gives his verdict that all the devotees, they collected the dust and straw and grains of sand and they put at one place. But that pile was much, much smaller than that collected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu alone. And then this was seen. And Lord said personally, all those devotees who have collected less dust, straw and the grains of sand as compared to others, they have to pay fine. Devotees are wondering, what is that fine? What do you think was the fine? And yes, the fine was sweet cakes and sweet rice. I'm sure all the other devotees who did nice seva, they were very happy. See, one thing is there, that all our services cannot be quantified. Some services can be quantified, like this service that was there collecting the dust and dirt. Okay, that can be quantified. Sincerity may be quantified at that point of time in that service. But our sincerity cannot be quantified in different services. Our authorities cannot keep all the time saying, is he sincerely doing seva or not? Is he sincerely doing seva or not? Obviously, at some places, there are litmus tests to check sincerity of the devotee. But at most of the places, There will be no way to check the sincerity of the devotee. No way. Like for example, chanting Hare Krishna. Say the devotee has got beads in his bead bag, and then he's only Shikha is moving. Yes. Beads are not moving. So now tell me, who is going to come and check his sincerity? Pakka chant kar raha hai ki nahi? And 2 hours after shaking himself nicely, he opens his eyes and the devotee is asking, oh, ho gaya 16 wala? Haan, kab ka ho gaya tha? Now tell me, who is going to check? Now say someone is sitting in the class, and then, now tell me, वो सुन रहा है कि नहीं सुन रहा है? Now who is going to actually tell us? So no one. So this point is very important to note, that sincerity cannot be quantified all the time. But if sincerity is not quantified all the time, it is devotee's responsibility to make sure that he remains sincere in all the services. Someone is seeing, someone is not seeing, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Therefore, every single devotee should take the responsibility of the service that is given to the devotee. Someone is watching or not, Krishna is surely watching. And finally, service, why we are doing service? To please Krishna. Abhi usme insincerity dikhayenge, then where is the question of advancing in devotional service? Therefore, every devotee should be sincere in his practice of devotional service. Sometimes it so happens, and many times leaders have come to us and they have complained, Prabhuji, we should do something about these devotees. Service was given, and this devotee, he went to his hometown, he didn't inform also. And now when I asked that the service was not done, where are you? Sorry Prabhuji, I was in hometown. Why you didn't inform me? Oh, I forgot. And that devotee was furious. Prabhuji, what to do with these devotees? I said, you first calm down, we will see what to do. But it's actually a big concern. Sometimes devotees might be sincere, but sometimes when ignorance takes over, so at that time, naturally that insincerity pops out. That's a problem. Therefore, one thing which you have to always understand is, authorities cannot keep a watch on us always. And if we are a person who wants an authority all the time to sit on our head, then for sure we don't come in the category of Brahmanas. Brahmana means once told, it will be done. We need to just forget. He will get it done. Shudra means all the time the person should be there behind him to check. There should be the punch in time, punch out time, time sheet, and everything is needed. Everything is needed. So this point is very important, that devotees have to aspire to become nice Brahmanas in the quality. Very, very important. Now this entire cleaning was done. Huge pile of dust was accumulated. All that was thrown out. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Haribol, come. And they all came together. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, let's clean the place second time. And devotees might be wondering, kahan hai abhi, kya clean kare? And all the devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally, as the service in charge, he allocated different areas to clean. You clean that room, you clean that place, you clean this area. And all the devotees again went and all of them started cleaning. And again, now they were able to get some very, very fine dust particles, straw particles, grains of sand, etc. And they got it. And they cleaned that place again. When the second time cleaning was happening, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very blissful seeing the entire place cleaned so nicely. So all these devotees, they had broom and they were all cleaning. But there were another set of devotees. They were again 100 in number. And they were holding something which you all know. What were they holding? They were holding pots. 100 devotees holding 100 pots in the hand. And in that pot, what was there? Obviously water. Cleaning chal raha tha, water hi rahega. Devotees are thinking, sweet rice laaye the kya? So they all had water. And they were all standing. And they were just waiting for one thing. And what is that? No, that was almost done. Any devotee was, "Arey, wahan ho gaya, wahan chalo, wahan phekenge pani. Wahan ho gaya." But all of them, they were waiting very sincerely, holding the pot and they were waiting. Yes, they were looking at Mahaprabhu. When will Mahaprabhu give order? इसको कहते हैं सिंसियरिटी. एकदम रेडी, अभी जब पूछेंगे तो बस भागेंगे अंदर पॉट लेके. So that was the mood. They were all standing with the pots and they're just looking at Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu till now has not told anything. So all this cleaning happened. So at that time, Mahaprabhu called for the water and all devotees ecstatic, they took the pots inside. And then the cleaning started. All glories to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Like Shukadeva Goswami shows us movie in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he shows us movie in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he says, devotees started washing the entire place with water. And what they were doing, they're taking the pot of water and they're throwing at the ceiling. And the water would fall down. So the water would clean the ceiling and the wall and then the floor. So there was a huge festival that was going on, throwing water. Everyone is throwing water at the ceiling. And the entire place is getting cleaned, one after another. In fact, every single devotee, they were putting water, and those devotees with broomstick, they were still there. Now they were cleaning that place. Because the water is there, now they're removing the water, they're cleaning that place. Now here, what was happening when they were getting water? I don't know how many of you have visited the lake besides Gundica temple. It is, if I'm not wrong, it's called as Indradyumna Sarovar. So they were getting water from that lake. Now 100 devotees going there with the pot. Now the entire place was filled with people. Now other devotees coming from behind with pots, they were not able to get any space to stand there. So they went to another well, and from the well they were getting water. So in this way, hundreds of devotees holding pots, trying to get water from the lake, from the well. Now there are hundreds of devotees who are getting water from the pots and giving it there. And there were another 100, they were getting empty pots and getting back to the lake. And now when the devotees are going from here, going from this side and that side, and both are enthusiastic, and when they both are enthusiastic, come together, dish, and there are pots which are getting they're broken in between. And again, newer pots are got, and newer pots are taken, empty pots to get the water. So in this way, the entire situation was really ecstatic. And all the devotees, they were washing the place, and at the same time, they were loudly chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. But there was one peculiar thing that was taking place, which Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying. Krishna Krishna kahi kare, ghatera prarthana. Krishna Krishna kahi kare, ghata samarpana. So I hope all the scene is clear. There are devotees getting the pots of water. There are devotees cleaning the place. And there are devotees taking the empty pots. Now the devotees who are cleaning the place, how are they asking for the pot? They're looking at the devotees who are getting the pots of water and they're saying, Krishna, Krishna. And the devotees who are giving the pot, they're saying, Krishna, Krishna. And in this way, everywhere, everyone is chanting, Krishna, Krishna. And the entire Gundica is filled with the holy names. And the entire situation is so ecstatic. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he is doing, he's fully absorbed in cleaning the place. He's cleaning thoroughly. He's trying to clean the ceiling. He's trying to clean the wall. And especially, he's trying to clean the entire Simhasan of Jagannath. Even today, if you go during Gundica Marjan, you will see a deity of Lord Chaitanya will be kept near Singhasan, where Lord is also cleaning the entire place. So personally, Lord is cleaning all that. And Lord is so absorbed in cleaning, so absorbed, that yes, Jagannath is going to come here. And with that mood, he's cleaning the entire place. And the Lord is completely absorbed. There are some intelligent devotees doing something. So some devotees, they came and they're putting water in the hands of Lord Chaitanya. There are other intelligent devotees. They got the pot from behind and they started pouring on the feet of Lord Chaitanya. And there are other extra intelligent devotees. They were collecting the water coming from the feet of Lord Chaitanya. And there some others were directly drinking. And there's some other devotees asking, Krishna, 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 Krishna. And these devotees have collected water. They were going and giving this Charanamrit in charity to everyone else. So in this way, can you imagine when devotees come together, every time it's just a festival. Every time. I can never forget this incident. There was a base on the other lane. And in the base, almost everyone got dengue. And then I had gone to see them. Almost, I think, 4 or 5 devotees. And when I went there, so as soon as I went, all of them got up from their bed, they came, they all sat, and someone got pomegranate juice, it was distributed. Ekdam mast, there was party that started. Then I asked them, Pakka tum log dengue hua ki natak kar rahe tum log? But that day I could actually feel it, that only thing that we need is devotee association to be blissful in life. That's it. If devotees are there around, oh, life is very blissful. Very, very blissful. So anyway, so in this way, all the devotees, they are so engaged. And here, Lord Chaitanya, when he is completely absorbed in doing this, all the devotees are taking some chants and then they're taking Charanamrit. And Lord Chaitanya is personally teaching to clean also. He's going personally to the different devotees. See, a devotee always has 2 roles to play. One is, he himself is absorbed doing devotional service. Second is, he takes the responsibility to help others also. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally absorbed in doing his service, and he is going and helping other devotees. Now, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says that wherever Lord Chaitanya would see that someone is doing nice services, glorify. You're doing amazing service. And all the other devotees will become very attentive. Okay, we also have to do. And those devotees who are not doing properly, Lord will go and chastise. What are you doing? Do it properly. And those devotees will become very attentive. And when Lord is correcting, one thing that is mentioned here is that he immediately chastised that person, not bearing him any grudge. So the person who is correcting and the person who is getting correction shouldn't hold any grudge. A very, very important thing that is given here. Because finally everyone is involved in service of the Lord. And our goal is to serve the Lord. There's nothing else. We want to please the Lord. And there might be some devotees who might be very concerned for us, especially our superiors, who might come and correct us at times. Okay, you shouldn't do like this, you should do like this. So that is the time when the devotee takes the correction and improves himself while rendering that particular service. If he starts taking grudge, then obviously he cannot advance in devotional service for sure. Because one thing is very clear. Everyone feels that about himself, that I'm perfect. But as soon as in that perfect person, as soon as some imperfection is found, it's very difficult to accept. And at that time, there's a grudge that comes. How can he say that? And in public, if it is told, then gone. Public में बोल दिया. Personally बोलते बुला के. Public में क्यों बोला? This devotee will go and tell, इसको समझ नहीं आता है. Public में बोल दिया. I will see next. I'll catch him next time. One senior devotee was correcting another devotee that you shouldn't sleep in japa. And sometimes it so happens that because of tiredness or whatever, even superiors sometimes we see that they might doze off for a few minutes. Now this person who was corrected, he saw that. He went to other devotees and said, मुझे बोल रहे थे, मुझे कि मैं सोता हूँ, देखो खुद ही सो रहे chanting में. Now tell me that why should a superior get disturbed and tell a person who is sleeping, अरे भाई उठ और जप कर, to get this in return? Yeah. This is a very, very important thing to note, that if someone is helping us in our sadhana, we should be very grateful, and not that we hold a grudge and then we decide, next time I'll catch this person red-handed, maybe I'll take a post. Let everyone see. So such mentalities will be there for sure. But then what to do? See, we are conditioned, right? After all, we are perfect. And as soon as imperfection is found in ourselves, who are perfect, then naturally there's a lot of problem that we see. Not in ourselves, in others. That's a great thing. And here we understand that Lord is correcting. There's no question of grudge. In this way, all the rooms were cleaned very nicely with hundreds of water pots. Hundreds of water pots. Now, there was one devotee, very simple, humble, intelligent. He got one water pot in his hand. Ekdam hero jaisa he entered the temple. And ekdam style se he put water on the feet of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya is looking at that. And very nicely took Charanamrita, drank in front of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya became extremely angry. He became extremely angry. He called, Swarup Damodar, come here. Look at your Bengali Vaishnava, what he is doing. He put water on my feet and he drank it here in the temple of Lord. What is this? And Lord is saying this, very important. He is establishing an etiquette for all of us. He says, I now do not know what my destination is because of this offense. Supreme Lord is saying. Because these are different etiquettes which have to be followed in the temple hall especially. Therefore, those different offenses are mentioned in Nectar of Devotion. And Srila Prabhupada also mentions in 7th canto Srimad Bhagavatam all these different offenses. That how one should sit in the temple, how one should stand in the temple, how one shouldn't pay obeisance to someone else in front of the altar. All these different things. And here, Lord is personally setting an example for all of us. And he's chastising that devotee. And at that time, what do you think Swarup Damodar might have done? Swarup Damodar is known, for his wonderful way of chastising people. उस devotee का गला पकड़ा और बाहर जाके फेंक दिया उसको. He just caught the neck of the devotee and took him out. I don't know if he really threw him, but yes, the devotee was left out. And then at that time, Swarup Damodar comes and he tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, oh Lord, please forgive that innocent devotee. अगर devotees नहीं होंगे ना हमारे और भगवान के बीच में, I don't know what will happen. It's only because, we have so many wonderful Vaishnavas in between. All our offenses, the Lord is like, ठीक है. Since you are saying, okay, no issue. So many times when Srila Prabhupada installed the deities in the West, what all things these devotees did, the foreign devotees. And following in the footsteps of the initial devotees, we are continuing. Once Srila Prabhupada went to one temple, and wherever Prabhupada would go, this particular thing he would do, that he would taste the Rajbhog Prasad. Then little he would take. Not like us. So huge plate is kept in front of Prabhupada and then little he would take from me just to taste if the right thing is offered to the Lord or not. So Prabhupada was tasting various different sweet preparations and there was no sweetness in that at all. And Prabhupada checked other and there was no sweetness in any sweet. And he called the pujaris, who were cooking, second initial devotees. And he asked, why there is no sweetness in the sweet? And the devotee said, we are very health conscious, Prabhupada. We have made calorie-free sweet. And just to teach a lesson to all these devotees, Prabhupada said, get me sugar. And Prabhupada got sugar, put a lot of sugar and he mixed all that and then he ate in front of them. Prabhupada, calorie! And many of the times when such things devotees would do, Prabhupada would personally go in front of the Lordships and beg forgiveness saying, please forgive all my innocent disciples. Even today for that matter, I'm sure all our acharyas looking at our current state of existence, they might be telling the Lord that, oh Lord, please ignore all the offenses that these boys do, these devotees do. See, they're chanting Hare Krishna. Sleeping and all you ignore. See, they're having prasad. Okay, ignore the mood that they have while having prasad. That's okay. You see, they're coming for your Mangalarati. Please ignore the sleep that they have in their eyes standing in front of you during Mangalarati. Oh Lord, look at their sincerity. Please accept their service. Please forgive them for all the offenses. And it's a fact that all these wonderful souls who are there in the parampara, since they pray for us, we are able to advance in bhakti. Nahi to kya hope hai? What is the hope? What is the hope? So in this way, when all these things happened, the water wash is done. Lord personally with his own Angavastra, he started mopping the Simhasan of Jagannath and the other parts connected to that place. The Lord can use his Angavastra. We shouldn't use our Angavastra. Yes. We remove our, and then start cleaning the altar. Lord can do this. We cannot do this. So Lord removed and his clothes. He started polishing the entire throne using his Angavastra. Cleaning the entire place with his Angavastra, with his upper cloth. And after that, when the water was left out, it went on to the road. Went outside the entire place. So that time, the entire temple was very much cleansed. Very clean. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying it was purified, it was cool, and it was pleasing. A stone temple, no? So by water wash and all that, very cool, very pleasing, very pure. And when the water was left out, it was as if some rivers are flowing to meet some ocean. Huge quantity of water. At that time, devotees, they have cleaned the entire campus. But now they also cleaned the entire road in front of Gundica temple. So in this way, devotees, they cleaned the entire temple under the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now when these pastimes are given, our acharyas, they give the inner meaning to this pastime. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he gives a purport, which Prabhupada has given it to us in Chaitanya Charitamrita, to verse number 135 of chapter 12. Almost 4-page purport it is. 4-page purport it is. Very, very wonderful description. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally giving instructions on how one should receive Lord Krishna within one's cleansed and pacified heart. So Rath Yatra is an event where devotees are pulling the Lord back into their heart, which is compared to Sri Vrindavan Dham. Now, if we want the Lord to reside in our heart, it has to be clean. And the word pacified is used. We'll discuss about this word pacified. Very important. He continues and he says, to wash away all dirty things accumulated within the heart, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised everyone to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And therefore in Chaitanya Shikshastakam, the first line it says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, equal to Gundica Marjanam. Yes. So this is exactly how. As soon as the devotee starts chanting, the heart becomes purified. Now the question comes, is our heart getting purified? If we are chanting, it is said that heart should get purified. And it is not, it will take a long time. Sadhya, immediately. Now, so what does that mean? We are not chanting properly, or we are chanting and not chanting, and what? It goes on to say that the way it is expected to chant, we might not be chanting. How are we expected to chant? One word. Offenselessly. We are expected to chant offenselessly. As soon as the devotee starts chanting offenselessly, and the mother of all the offense is inattentive chanting. Inattentiveness. The mother, she is the mother. And then 10 offenses take birth from her. Yes. So this is a very, very important thing. Before we start chanting, we should remind ourselves about this. At least that will last for a few rounds, if you remind yourself at the start of chanting. That inattentive chanting is the mother of all offenses. So let me not become inattentive. Because at times, knowingly when we become inattentive, then it's a problem. There are some devotees, who complete their sadhana. Fatabat khatam karna hai, abhi raat ka 2 ghanta bacha hai. So 16 rounds are remaining. 1 hour reading, 1 hour hearing. So now we have to fit everything in 2 hours. So reading going on, Hare Krishna going on, hearing going on, Hare Krishna going on. So at times I've seen devotees sitting in the class with bead bag. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So if we think that we are becoming extra smart, one thing we have to understand is that this Cheto Darpana Marjana is not going to happen. We have to do it the way it is supposed to be done. As simple as that. There's no question. Now this is called as inattentive chanting. When we are hearing Katha also and when we are doing Kirtan also, it's an offense to both. It's offense to Shravanam and it's offense to Kirtanam. Congratulations. So I don't know where the devotee will proceed towards this. When he's doing offensive chanting, offensive Shravanam, offensive Kirtanam. Therefore, it's very important that we remind ourselves, no, attentive. And devotees should take out exclusive time to just sit at one place and chant Hare Krishna. I saw many devotees on Nirjala Ekadashi, so nicely they're sitting at one place and chanting. If we can do that every day, I'm not saying 64 rounds, but I'm just saying whatever rounds we chant, if that can be done, it's so nice. At times, I'm very much worried. Sometimes on Saturdays and Sundays, devotees look at the wall and going towards the wall chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And I'm fearful if they'll merge into that wall, how will they remove my back? So what is happening while chanting is very difficult. Altar is here, devotee are looking at that wall. And if you ask them, what do you know? Prabhupada is there. But Prabhupada can see, no? The point is that we should ask this question to ourselves, what are we doing? So we're supposed to chant the way it is expected to chant, and especially we should cultivate this habit of sitting at one place and chanting. Some devotees might be very restless, so they might chant, walking, etc. But we should try our best to sit at one place and chant as much as possible. And then you again walk for 1 or 2 rounds, again sit and chant. This is something that will help us, with time. Pata nahi kitna time hai hamare paas. I really don't know how much time we have to improve our chanting. But if we think whatever time we have, then yes, slowly we'll improve. If we think we have no time, immediately we should implement. Immediately. Very, very important. And he continues, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If a devotee at all wants to cleanse his heart, he must chant and hear the glories of the Lord Sri Krishna. This is a simple process. Krishna himself will help cleanse the heart because he is already seated there. Krishna wants to continue living within the heart and the Lord wants to give directions. But one has to keep his heart as clean as Lord Chaitanya kept the Gundica temple. The devotee therefore has to cleanse his heart just as the Lord cleansed the Gundica temple. See, it might happen that chanting might be a bit difficult for devotees. But when it comes to hearing Katha, what is so great about that? Just sit and hear. Allow the Katha Pravaha. Let the Ganga flow through. Yes. And now if the devotee is closing his ears sitting in the class, then it's a problem. Keep the ears open. Keep the heart open. And let the Katha enter. Let the teachings enter. And that will have that has a lot of power to cleanse us. A lot of power. And that will surely aid our chanting also. Therefore, at least this is my personal observation. And also it is in line with the Shastra. That those devotees who have strong Shravanam, they are the ones who advance very fast in Krishna consciousness. Who keep hearing a lot in the entire day. Who are very attentive when they sit in the class. Are very keen about making notes and revising the notes and all that. Meditating on what is heard. They are the ones who advance very fast. But those devotees who take the nap, those devotees who are inattentive, those devotees who plan, it's difficult, very difficult. Because chanting at time, you're the only one. But when you're sitting and hearing with so many devotees, it is so engaging. We are hearing, we can visualize also what pastime is going on and what teachings. We can contemplate on ourselves where to implement, etc. It's a very active engagement. So at least Shravanam should be very, very strong. And when we do Shravanam very nicely, the Shravanam during chanting will also become very nice. Because we chant and we hear. That also will become very nice. It's a practice. It's a practice. And then he continues and he says, if the heart is filled with straw, grains of sand, weeds or dust, one cannot enthrone the Supreme Personality of Godhead there. So how will Lord sit in the dirty place? Very difficult. And also it is said, we cannot perceive Lord's presence in our hearts unless our hearts are cleansed. We cannot perceive the Lord. And at our level, I can say that we will not be able to get deeper and deeper realizations. Difficult. If the heart is dirty, if it is not getting cleansed with time, realizations, will be very difficult. And sometimes devotees might say, I don't know how to advance in bhakti, what to do, I don't know, I'm not getting realizations. I'm praying to the Lord, but it's not working. Are we really working to cleanse the heart or not is a question. Because only when the heart is cleansed, then we can perceive the Lord. We'll be able to get deeper realizations. Straws and grains of sand. So what it connects, or what is that in our day-to-day life? It's anartha. Artha means wealth, meaning. Artha also means goal. So, artha is goal. And goal of life is to attain Krishna's eternal service. That's the goal of life. But as soon as we deviate from that goal, that is called as anartha. And what is that deviates us from the goal? Okay, lust. And lust, if we can say lust in simple English language, the propensity to enjoy this material world to the fullest. That is what deviates us from the goal. You can analyze for yourself. What is that taking me away from Krishna? Or away from this? It's a very straight path. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, one can close his eyes and run. But we are very fearful. We keep looking outside here and then you go another place altogether. Sense gratification. But this road is very straight, and at the end, it's Goloka Vrindavan. But the point is that because of our sense gratificatory tendency, because of that propensity to enjoy to the fullest, we deviate. That's the problem. Desire to enjoy the material world to its fullest extent is the straw and the grains of sand in our heart. And also at the same time, impersonal speculation, monism, speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, meditation, basically karma, jnana, yoga. All these different things are also compared, to straw and grains of sand in the heart. And this point is very important from the purport. It says, if one is overly engaged in material activity, the heart will always remain disturbed. See, anytime if we feel that I'm disturbed, I'm not peaceful, anytime you're not feeling the bliss, even after being in Krishna consciousness, here is the answer. Overly engaged in material activity. As simple as that. There's a litmus test that we have got. Because when we are in bhakti, it is susukham kartum abhyayam. It is blissful. And the devotee is agitated and disturbed in Krishna consciousness, it means something is wrong. And what is that wrong? Here it is given. Overly engaged in material activity. So one has to be very careful that what are our engagements in Krishna consciousness? What are the different engagements in our day-to-day life? We should be very conscious of this. Now this is understood that we have to clean the heart and all that. So Gundica temple they cleaned. But here comes the question. Okay, you clean the entire Gundica temple, agreed. That's cleansing of the heart. But then why did you clean the entire road also? Why they clean the entire road? The Lord can come. Anything else? That's okay. Anything that you can think more? Okay. Okay. Anyone in line with Saraswati Thakur's thought process? I'm just checking. Very wonderful, huh? Here it is said that they cleansed outside also, fearing that those grains of sand might come inside after some time. Oh, huge, huh? It's like you have cleansed the entire place, but then there is a fear that from the road, some grains of sand, some dust can come inside the temple again. And now what is that compared to in our day-to-day life? We might have stopped all our nonsensical activities or whatever. But here it is said, sometimes a subtle desire for fruitive activity again comes into being within the heart. one often thinks of conducting business to improve devotional activity. Now the devotee might be very intelligent. He might think, bhakti to karna hai, but bhakti karne ke liye material life should be stable. So now let me first stabilize material life, and then after that I'll do bhakti. So it's almost like, here it is said, I'll finish off, maybe I'll get some good amount of money, good savings. Then I'll buy a house in Sri Vrindavan or in Mayapur. Anyways, in last IYF Yatra, when I went, I saw some plot and some... So maybe I'll go buy that and then settle there. And बाद में क्या ही करना है? धाम में रह के भक्ति करेंगे और क्या? But the thing is, as soon as the devotee starts focusing a lot on the material side, this is what happens. It is said, but the contamination is so strong that it may later develop into misunderstanding described as first, kutinati, fault finding. Second, pratishtha, the desire for name and fame and for high position. Jiva himsa, envy of other living entities. Nishiddhachara, accepting things forbidden in the Shastra. Kama, desire for material gain. And puja, hankering for popularity. The devotee ne socha ki yes, I'll just focus on material aspect now and then baad mein idhar hi aana hai. And yes, I'm a devotee, so I'll finally come here only after I'm doing it for Krishna. But as soon as the devotee starts looking too much into the material side, at that time, Maya is standing. And what is that? Krishna bhuliya jeev bhog avancha kare nikatastha maya tare jhapatiya dhare. So jhapatiya dhare pata hai sabko. So as soon as we start focusing on something that is other than Krishna consciousness, please remember, Mahamaya is already standing like this. She catches very nicely. And immediately all these different anarthas we will see popping in our heart. Fir bas uske baad then we'll get money, but we'll not buy a house in Vrindavan. We'll buy somewhere here, somewhere, and settle here in our old age. Doing something nonsense or whatever. And in the current time also we'll not be able to practice bhakti properly. So in this way, it's a very, very important thing that is given. So that dust on the road, it's compared to the subtle desires, which are there in our existence, which we might not be able to experience now, but with time, it might pop up. You never know how it will pop up. Now, when the entire temple was cleaned, how was the temple now? It was purified, pleasing, and it was cool. And therefore it is said, the mind can be peaceful and thoroughly cleansed when one no longer desires anything but devotional service. When will our mind become cool? People say, no, cool. Then you should tell them this purport. And it's very clear that we can become cool only when there's only one desire, and that is desire to render devotional service. Any other desire, it means it's all straw, dust, grain particles of sand. And finally, in the conclusion, very nice conclusion, the Lord was very pleased with those who could cleanse the temple by taking out undesirable things accumulated within. Lord was very happy. When he saw devotees cleaning the entire temple, he was very happy. Similarly, when we are cleansing our heart by very nicely practicing devotional service, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be very happy. So at least to please him, our devotional service has to be very nice, very intense. Next point. This is called anartha nivritti, cleansing the heart of all unwanted things. So anartha nivritti is the goal of life, right? What is the goal of life? Artha pravritti is the goal, not anartha nivritti. But without anartha nivritti, we'll not be able to think about artha pravritti, that is the higher aspects of Krishna consciousness. Not possible. I was hearing one very senior devotee. He is known for his exalted position and his classes. So he was saying this, that goal of life is not anartha nivritti, but artha pravritti. But without anartha nivritti, you cannot think about artha pravritti. Not possible. We cannot advance. Not possible. And finally it is said, thus the cleansing of the Gundica Mandir was conducted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to let us know how the heart should be cleansed and soothed to receive Lord Sri Krishna and enable him to sit within the heart without a disturbance. If Lord is there in our heart and we have all the other desires, that will disturb the Lord. So it always meditate on all this wonderful graphical thing which our acharyas give. Yes. So if our heart is clean, Lord will be able to sit there peacefully and he can enjoy. He can get all the pleasure. But then if our heart is not clean, that is disturbing to the Lord. That's the point that is made here. So through this pastime of Gundica Marjan, so many wonderful things to learn. And these devotees, their enthusiasm to clean the temple was so great. Their enthusiasm to give pleasure to Lord Krishna was so great. And we can see in this entire pastime that all the devotees have only one goal. That yes, Lord is going to come, so this entire place should be clean. And similar goal even we devotees, we sadhakas should have. Lord is going to come. Let me clean my heart completely. And the process is the same process. That is Shravanam Kirtanam. This is the process that is given to us. Just by following this, the heart will get cleansed and rest of the things will fall in place. Thank you very much. Gundica Marjan pastime ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrit ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.